Hello and welcome to the Streamline and Shine podcast. My name is Steff Bolton and I am 1/3 of Bolton Virtual Solutions, a team made up of me, Mum, and my two daughters, Sam and Amy. Our family virtual assistant agency's absolute passion is helping time-poor female entrepreneurs with those ridiculously long to-do lists, because we all know how they get longer instead of shorter, so that they're able to focus on doing what they love. You're going to want to stick around if you find yourself constantly just doing this thing quickly instead of spending time with your family, or if you look at your list of tasks and feel like crying, or even if you're just simply wondering how to manage your time better and delegate to your team. We're going to be covering topics from social media to marketing, systems and processes to outsourcing and so much more, so that you can see what's possible for you and your business. So let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome back to the Streamline and Shine podcast with me, Steff Bolton from Bolton Virtual Solutions. So today I have got a really value-packed episode for you. So if you've got a team, but you're still finding yourself making every decision, you're basically running a creche for adults, and that is 100% not what running a business should look or feel like. So I'm here today to talk to you about how the wrong way to make decisions can suck all your time and energy out of you. And then I'm going to tell you how you can fix it. Okay, so let's picture this for a sec. Or this may already be happening to you regularly, but we're going to imagine it anyway. So you get to your desk in the morning, you've got 6 emails waiting for you from various team members, 3 messages on Slack to answer or approve completed work, and you've got a list as long as your arm of tasks that need to be off your desk by the end of the day. You've also got 2 important meetings that can't be scheduled. So immediately, before your backside can even get comfy, you're feeling like it's going to be a day of rushing and chasing. And somehow you've also got to squeeze in making a GP appointment for your little one, and then you also need to eat at some point. What a way to start your day. So the obvious thing is you need to prioritise. So let's take a look at what can be changed. So your meetings, we've already said they're a must, they're non-negotiable, so they need to stay as they are. The to-do list really needs working on because these tasks have already been pushed back, so really they should also be a priority too. And that leaves the team messages and queries. So I'm going to give you suggestions shortly on how to deal with these, but before I do, I want to point out that this is what's known as a decision-making black hole. So the decision-making black hole can suck your energy and your time, and here's why and how. So if you're the last part of the process for everything and your team aren't empowered to make decisions on your behalf, you're going to become the bottleneck, and it's going to happen real fucking quick. So if you're in every single detail, every single sign-off, every single piece of content, not only are you going to burn out, your team are going to be demotivated and demoralised. And why? Because if you're not feeling it, neither will they. Your team needs a leader, not someone who's feeling the struggle and pressure with them. You need to be able to reassure them, compliment them, praise them, and encourage them. What you don't want to be doing constantly is moaning and bitching and complaining, because that energy will just transfer to them. And when that happens, the shit will really start hitting the fan. Things will be going wrong more often, and everything will just start going downhill. So what can we do to either prevent this from happening or fix it if it's already happening? So I've got 3 suggestions for you that you can implement immediately and quite easily to start relieving that pressure, overwhelm and stress. So the first suggestion is the traffic light system. And I can already hear you asking, what the fuck is that? So here it is. In your project management software, as you know, we use Basecamp. When you're delegating and assigning tasks, mark each one red, yellow or green. Now I'm going to explain to you what they all mean. So red is stop, this is for the CEO only. No one else should be making this decision. So they're high risk, they're strategic, or they could be financial commitments. So you wouldn't want a VA, for example, making decisions like this. And examples of a CEO only task could be signing a client contract. It could be deciding pricing on a new offer. It could be hiring or firing decisions. It could be big investments that you need to make. So that's your red tasks. Yellow, check first. Now, these are going to be tasks that someone else can carry out, but they need approval or a quick check-in before moving forward. So they're medium risk tasks that could affect client relationships or money. And examples are sending out a proposal, making changes to a client's contract, or maybe adjusting the timeline of a project. So they're your medium risks, they're your yellows. Now your green, go ahead and get on with it. So these tasks or decisions, obviously quite low risk, they can be handled without your input because they're everyday work. So examples could be replying to standard client emails, scheduling posts, updating spreadsheets, things like that. They can be super easy for your team to grasp. And you can literally map tasks or decision types into a color-coded list so everyone knows what's green, yellow or red in your business, and everyone will understand which tasks they need to be working on and what the process is for getting them completed. So that is the first suggestion. The second one is to have SOPs for every repeatable process. Now, a repeatable process is anything that you do more than twice. So creating SOPs, which stands for Standard Operating Procedures, can be simple and easy to do, and they honestly sound like they're more work and effort than they are, but they're also worth their weight in gold. So I highly recommend these. So when I first started in my own business in 2021, I heard about SOPs and thought, I don't need these yet, as I'm not established enough, like I haven't got anyone to hand work to, I'm nowhere near getting in a position where I can hire. But if I had SOPs in place when the girls came on board this business and we created Bolton Virtual Solutions, it would have saved me so much time showing them the ropes if the SOPs were there to refer to. And these don't necessarily have to be written. They can be screen records of what you're doing in whatever the process is. And personally, I find the videos easier to understand and they seem a lot clearer. So we have an OBM client who recorded all of her SOPs for us, put them as unlisted on YouTube so we can always access them. And that just shows you how it doesn't need to be difficult or complicated. Like I said, they sound harder to make than they are. Quick pause before we jump into the last suggestion. So if you're listening to this already and thinking, yep, that's me, I'm drowning in the day-to-day and my business feels like a mess behind the scenes, then you need to know about the Back to Business Boost. It's our no BS VA package designed to take the chaos out of your systems, content, admin, and get you running like a proper CEO again, minus the stress. So you'll free up hours every week and you'll finally have that breathing room that you crave to grow. The best part is you don't need to hire an entire team. We come in, streamline the lot over the course of 3 months and hand you back control. And if that sounds exactly like what you need, head to the link in the show notes and check out the Back to Business Boost. Plus, if you sign up during August, you can enjoy a 4-part payment plan and spread the cost just that little bit further. Now, my third and final suggestion is to have a clear escalation path for tasks and projects. So an escalation path is basically a clear plan for what your team should do when they hit a roadblock. So the easiest way to think of it is as a ladder. So the first rung of the ladder at the bottom is your team member trying to solve it themselves. So they could check the SOPs that you've created. They could be checking templates. They could be checking past examples. And if they're still stuck, they'd then go up to the next rung where a project lead or a lead VA might sit, whoever owns that area or that project basically. And if the roadblock is bigger or risks money, client relationships or deadlines, it goes up again to the top rung, and that's where you as the CEO sits. So only the high risk stuff should be reaching the top of that ladder. Now I want to make it clear that this isn't about passing the buck. It's about making sure the right person is making the right call at the right time. So the beauty of having an escalation path in your team is that they then know who to go to and when. Instead of pinging you every 5 minutes, can you imagine how many less WhatsApp messages you'd be getting? And with this process in place, you'll find yourself able to breathe again, have the capacity to make big decisions, instead of being dragged down to the bottom step of the ladder all the time. So any of these decision-making frameworks will not only simplify things overall in your business and give you some brain space back, but they'll also empower your team to make decisions without having to involve you in everything. And it's so important to give your team responsibilities that they can own and be proud of, because the boost it will give them will improve their productivity and their willingness to get the work done and do it well. a happy team equals a happy business. So I have really enjoyed sharing this with you today. If you've got any questions or you've had any light bulb moments and you want to share them with us, we are always happy to help. So you can text the show, you can DM us on Instagram, or you can drop us an email. The links will be in the show notes. Like I said, we're always happy to help, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Streamline and Shine. If you have questions on what we covered inside, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Bolton_virtual_solutions, or you can email us at teambolton@boltonvirtualsolutions.co.uk. We absolutely love hearing from our amazing community and are always here to support you. If you'd like to be interviewed on a future episode, please drop us an email letting us know which topic you'd like to speak about, and we'll get back to you. See you on the next episode, lovelies.